Okay, thanks, Chris.
Hello YouTube, Stephen KC9GMX here. Going to make another video on putting on some coax connector ends on some coax. We're having our Ham Radio Club's Christmas party tonight, and one of the guys thought he might bring his HF radio, but that would require running a coax out the door somewhere, and that might be around 50 or 60 feet up the stairs and out the door of the bank building that we're going to use for our Christmas party tonight. So I said, well, nobody had any small coax laying around. I thought, well, I'd just go ahead and throw together a coax cable and put some ends on it, make a video while I'm at it. So the bad thing is, though, not being prepared, turns out I only have one PL259 crimp-on connector. These are the ones I normally like to use. I've only got one. I didn't know I was that low, so I guess I'm going to have to order some more. But in order to make this project work tonight, the only other connector that I've got that's going to work for this particular situation is a BNC male, which is fine because, like I said, I wanted to make a video on it anyway. So we'll make a video on installing a BNC connector on some RG58 coax. And thankfully, I've got a BNC to PL259 adapter, so essentially on the other end I'll be able to make it work. Like I said, we've got to be hams. We've got to, you know, make it work when all else fails, so they say. So we'll just get right started here making this coax cable. Open the package. You got to be really careful with the BNCs because it's going to be really hard to see it. But right here, there's the small gold-plated pin. Don't lose that. It'd be real easy to misplace, fall on the floor, and you just never see it again. You can't make the connector work without that center pin. So we'll get all that set out here. And first things first is I'm going to need to know how much of the black cover there to the jacket cut off of the coax cable. So about the way I do this, and if you watched the other video when I installed the PL259 on the last jumper that I had to make on our YouTube channel here, which, by the way, be sure and subscribe to our channel. We like to get as many views and followers as possible on our YouTube channel. It's the club's channel. Who knows what kind of videos we'll come up with after the Christmas party tonight. I'll try and make a video of what we did there at the Christmas party and maybe any HF contacts that we made. So be sure and look for that here in the next week or so. Knowing that this center pin on a BNC is going to come just about to the tip of the body, up at the top end of the, I don't know if zooming in would help there. That's a little bit better. So that kind of gives me an idea about where the pin's going to sit inside the body. And I know that the center conductor is going to go back halfway up that. So I guess I'll anticipate the coax coming to about here. That means everything except for the center pin has to come off about here, and then the black jacket has to come off about here, and that way the shielding can go on the outside of the textured body there. Now, what's very important whenever I scored that black jacket part there, that I don't want to nick the shielding. One of the reasons why I don't use the traditional type of PL259s, I like the crimp-ons because with the aluminum type material, it makes a better connection. And then we'll solder the center tip onto there. Let's see, that'll go about up there. So I've got my center conductor a little bit too long, and I can check that by sliding the pin. Slide the pin right on there, as far down as it'll go, right about there. And I can already tell that I'm way too long on that center conductor. So I'm going to trim that down a little bit with my wire cutters here. There, that's looking a lot better. Oh yeah, that's good there. So I'm going to go ahead and solder that center pin on, and then we should be ready to insert that. Oh, by the way, don't forget to put the crimping collar on. That would be very bad. I can't believe I almost forgot to put that on there. That's okay. That's why we make these videos, so that you guys can see my mistakes and maybe not make your own mistakes there. So I'm going to get the soldering iron out and see if I can do this in view of the camera. That looks about good. Okay. Now what I'm using is a pencil tip type soldering iron. It's a variable heat. I think it's anywhere from 20 to 60 watts, and it's a pretty good unit. And that way you can use it on big projects or small projects. This dielectric is going to melt very easily, so you'll want to be kind of quick about soldering this. Now this isn't a video teaching you how to solder. Hopefully you already know how to solder. If you guys want a video on soldering, I can do that sometime. Just leave some comments down there if you want a video on soldering. I've done some surface mount components before, so there's some tricks and stuff that I've learned in doing that. We can put that together in a video if that'd be something people would be interested in seeing. This dielectric is going to melt very easily, so I'm going to be kind of quick about it, and I may not talk a lot while I'm doing it, so hopefully I can do it without messing it up. But one quick thing is I'll touch a little bit of solder onto my tip, and then when I touch the pin, that'll make a better conductor of the heat in it there. Hopefully I can, there we go. Yeah, it's sucking right up in there. Okay, okay, well that pretty well solders that on there. That solder melted right in there pretty quick. Straighten it up. Should be able to slide the body on there now. Maybe probably don't want to put a hot pin right in there. Melt the body. We don't want to do that. So BNCs are pretty simple. Solder that pin on there. As long as your measurements are pretty close, solder that pin on there, and you should hear it or feel it snap. There we go. Feel it snap. That snaps that pin up inside the body there and gets it seated right in the position where it's supposed to be, so that it's not too far out, not far enough out that it can't connect. Fold that braid back around the outside of the body. Slide the collar up in on top of it right there. Now one thing you notice I didn't do is I didn't put any shrink tubing on there. You're more than welcome to put shrink tubing on your coax before you start this process, and then slide it back up over the collar and give it a finished look that way. Actually what I'm going to use is something called rescue tape, and I wanted a thicker strain relief that I could bring further down that shrink tubing wasn't necessarily going to do for this particular project. That way I could use this in our Club Go box and hopefully stand up to a little more abuse that what some of our guys maybe do. So I'll put that on after I'm done. For this part here, we got our crimping tool, and it's a ratcheting crimping tool. It's got the die for both RG8X size coax and RG58. This is 58, so we're going to seat this right down in there. Make sure that everything's nice and tight together, and give it a good crimp. And that pretty well does it. It's give my tug of approval, as I call it. Last thing we'll do is we'll get the multimeter out, and we will touch one probe to the center pin, one probe to the body, with the ohm meter setting on there, so we can make sure that we don't have a short somewhere in here. If we have a short, I'm pretty well screwed because I don't have any other connectors. So we'll go get the multimeter and we'll try that here in just a second. Okay, now having gone to get my multimeter, you'll set this to the ohm setting. Usually the lowest resolution will work fine for what we're going to use it for. And all we're going to test for is continuity. We don't want continuity. I can show you right here in the display. Hopefully, let's see, maybe right about there you can see. If I touch these two probes together and make it continuous, you'll see the meter comes up there. I let it go and the meter goes away. That means there's a circuit continuity from these one probe to the next. If we have that in the coax, that means there's a short. That's bad. We don't want to get any measurement of any type of impedance, resistance, excuse me, through the multimeter. So I'm going to check that with this, and hopefully I did it right. Set this up here maybe where you can. Alright, and one goes on the center pin, one goes on the body, and there we have it. We have, you can see there, no measurement when I touch the one probe to the outside of the body, one probe to the inside pin of the connector, which means we don't have a short, so I did that right. Now I'm going to measure my coax and cut it off to length. About 50-60 feet will do it. I'll go back through and add the actual PL259 that I do have handy and get that set up so we can do our club contact on the thing. Thanks for watching. Like I said, be sure and subscribe to the club channel. We do appreciate all the subscribers we can get. If you don't like using crimp-on connectors, feel free to leave some feedback in the thing. It's your prerogative. You can like the traditional kind if you like. I enjoy using these ones, so if you want to see any other videos from our club, either me or one of the other members can probably put something together. We've got a lot of talent in the group, so if there's something in particular radio or electronic related that you'd like to see or learn, or maybe have a little more elaboration on, be sure and leave some comments down there, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.